Hello and welcome to Channel 3 Action News. I'm Justin Schnedt, and here's what's making headlines. 2 Sundays ago, around 2 a.m. in the morning, a monorail car at the Walt Disney World theme park in Florida crashed into a stationary monorail car. The driver was killed instantly, while luckily the family of 6 in the damaged car made it out without injuries. Disney's Vice President for Public Affairs, Mike Griffin, released this statement regarding the incident. Quote, "Today we mourn the loss of our fellow cast member. Our hearts go out to his family and to those who have lost a friend and co-worker," end quote. Disney officials are working with police to determine the exact cause of the crash. The United States Army is set to launch a major operation in Afghanistan amid the recent escalation in violence there. Over 4,000 American troops, coupled with hundreds of Afghans, will be involved in Operation Kandjar, which will focus on a hotbed of Taliban forces in the Helmand River Valley. President Obama has met with both Russian President Medvedev and Prime Minister Vladimir Putin in an attempt to help reset U.S.-Russian relations. One of the many things that came out of the 2-day summit was a joint agreement on cutting nuclear arsenals and for Russia to allow the U.S. to travel through their country when supplying our troops in Afghanistan. Newly re-elected Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has called the recent election in his country, quote, "the most free election anywhere in the world." You might recall the massive protests that rocked Iran after allegations surfaced of a fixed election. President Obama stated this during a White House press conference regarding the situation, quote, "No iron fist is strong enough to shut off the world from bearing witness to peaceful protests of justice. Those who stand up for justice are always on the right side of history." Both President Obama and President Ahmadinejad have stated recently that talks between the two countries are on the table. Mayor, governor, vice presidential candidate, and now author, Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska will now be able to add another line in her resume. Publisher HarperCollins has hired Sarah Palin to write a book about her life and her political claim to fame. Palin told an Anchorage Daily News, quote, "There have been so many things written and said through mainstream media that have not been accurate, and it would be nice to an unfiltered forum to get to speak truthfully about who we are and what we stand for and what Alaska is all about. The idea is to focus on the content of the book and what's coming in terms of me being able to tell my story unrestrained and unfiltered," end quote. Estimates range from a $7 to $11 million payment to Palin for the memoir. The highly anticipated release date is the spring of 2010, which just so happens to be around the same time as Republicans will start gearing up for the 2012 presidential election. The question political pundits across the country are discussing is the potential of a Palin presidential run. Then Senator Barack Obama published his book, The Audacity of Hope, prior to his successful 2008 presidential bid. So would it not make sense for Sarah Palin to follow in her political rival's footsteps, but on the other side of the aisle? But the major Sarah Palin news this week isn't a new book. It's about her resignation from the governorship of Alaska. That's right, Sarah Palin is resigning from her position as governor by the end of the month. During a press conference, Palin announced that she would not run for re-election in 2010, and as a result, felt it necessary to resign over a year earlier than her first-term completion date. She gave many rationales about how it would be best for Alaska, her family, and really everybody because she wanted to avoid a lame duck status, save the state millions of dollars in ethics complaint costs, and the like. Many pundits are still perplexed by the sudden move that some say could cost her politically. When asked about a 2012 presidential run, she said on almost every news outlet, quote, "We can't predict the next fish run, much less what's going to happen in 2012. Money, 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 the word most often heard for one state-level, cabinet-level position. In an interview on the CW's Youth and Politics show, which airs Sundays at 11, the Maine State Treasurer David Lemoyne discussed his role in state government and the current economic climate of the state. He said, quote, "We are facing tough times as individuals in the state and as a state government, but these are not insurmountable or unprecedented. We are in sound financial shape," end quote. Yet Maine is facing the highest unemployment rate in 17 years, standing at around 8%. In addition, the state is facing major budget shortfalls. Even with these issues, the state treasurer believes the combination of the governor's efforts and the stimulus money from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act will turn Maine's economy around. Maine's sliver of the $787 billion financial pie will total approximately $2 billion. Like the national transparency plan set forth by President Barack Obama, Maine's transparency plan includes a website, at www.mainrecovery.gov. The website breaks the numbers down into specific categories, and here are those categories. For tax relief, $645 million. State and local fiscal relief, $548 million. For infrastructure and science, $176.9 million is allocated. For education and training, $173 million. Protecting the vulnerable, $164 million. For energy allocation, $80.5 million, and the category of other is standing at about $38 million. And last but surely not least, healthcare, $6.3 million. Speaking of websites and transparency, you might have noticed that our government is changing with the times when it comes to online initiatives. From comedy skits to music videos, YouTube has been a 21st century source for entertainment. This free online medium, however, has expanded its far-reaching demographic to include Washington, D.C. politicians. The U.S. Congress has created its own YouTube page in an attempt to actively engage young people and communication between government and its constituents. So far, both the U.S. Senate and U.S. House of Representative pages have numerous videos of Congresspeople updating and informing the public on the current work going down in the hallowed halls. This initiative parallels President Barack Obama's new whitehouse.gov website. The site, which began the moment Obama was sworn into office, includes interactive features from weekly video addresses to in-depth updates of executive decisions. The plan is to further communication between his administration and the average citizen by providing complete transparency with ongoing initiatives. Here's a quote from the website, and it reads, "President Obama is committed to creating the most open and accessible administration in American history. Only time will tell if the new online outreach by both the executive and legislative branches of government will achieve the goals set forth." Local municipalities across the country are trying to save money and cut costs. According to the Journal Tribune, the city of Saco is doing something unique, going back to a contract drawn up over 20 years ago with the city of Biddeford. In 1983, both Saco and Biddeford joined in a tax-sharing agreement with Maine Energy, and as a result, Saco is considering seeking over $92,000 from Biddeford. Now, nothing is official yet, as there are disputes over the contract and its subsequent revision. In sports news, Serena Williams and Roger Federer have both claimed 2009 Wimbledon titles. Both were very interesting games to watch, as Serena faced her sister Venus for the title, while Federer faced Andy Roddick again for his title. This makes Federer's 15th major championship title, which has set the precedent in the record books. The entertainment world is continuing to pay homage to one of its own, as the King of Pop's memorial service occurred last Tuesday. 20,000 people filled the Los Angeles Staples Center for the public ceremony, with over 50,000 outside and, of course, millions more watching at home. Michael Jackson died on June 25th at the age of 50 of cardiac arrest. In other entertainment news, Rupert Grint, the actor who plays Ron Weasley in the highly successful Harry Potter film series, has come down with a case of the swine flu. I guess no one is immune, even boy wizards. The next Harry Potter movie, The Half-Blood Prince, is set to debut this week. Thousands and possibly millions of screaming preteen girls will be excited and saddened by the news I'm about to read. One of the Jonas brothers is getting married. That's right, getting married. Kevin Jonas, the oldest Jonas, is getting married to girlfriend Danielle DeLise at the age of 21. You might recall that each of the Jonas brothers wear purity rings to declare their philosophy of staying pure till marriage. I wonder why Kevin Jonas wants to marry so young. It must be love. Your iTunes top 5 list is as follows. At number 5, You Belong With Me by Taylor Swift. At number 4, the dance hit Fire Burning by Sean Kingston. At number 3, the Black Eyed Peas' former number 1, Boom Boom Pow. Number 2, He Could Be the One, off the new Hannah Montana 3 soundtrack. And in the number 1 slot, drum roll please, the Black Eyed Peas with I Got a Feeling. Last weekend, there was a photo finish at the box office. While there were 2 major releases, both could not overtake the previous week's box office champ, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. The Transformers sequel to the 2007 movie scored an estimated $42 million over the weekend, while the opening of another sequel, Ice Age 3, The Dawn of the Dinosaurs, was hot on the heels with over $41 million. A distant third, but still a decent opening for that genre, Public Enemies, with Johnny Depp playing the title character of John Dillinger, opened with $25 million. Transformers 2 has made a stellar $300 million in the U.S. box office and over $600 million worldwide since its opening just a few weeks ago. Can anyone say The Dark Knight? Now, this past weekend, Sacha Baron Cohen's latest flick, Bruno, opens along with teen comedy I Love You, Beth Cooper. Bruno scored the top spot at the box office with around $30 million, which was a higher opening than his last flick, Borat, but not in terms of attendance. Harry Potter, though, will really shake things up at the box office when it's released this Wednesday. For more information regarding movies, you can visit this website, www.boxofficemojo.com. Also, the major headline this week will surround Judge Sonia Sotomayor's confirmation hearing in front of Congress. All the major networks will be covering it, from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, and the like, so please tune in to watch. That wraps it up for this edition of the Channel 3 Action News. I'm Justin Chenette, reminding you to become aware with current news of the day, get involved in your community, and watch Biddeford Public Access, your #1 source for news. If you'd like more information on my career path, you can visit my website at www.justinchenette.com. Have a great day and see you right back here next week.